my God!
Yeah! 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 Guys, I'd like to introduce you to the Berkley PowerBait Nessie. This is a killer, guys. This is going to be an amazing bait. It's one of the first soft glide baits. I know you've heard a lot about glide baits lately, and this is one of the world's first soft glide baits, and this bait's going to be special. All right, guys, I want to give you the first look at the brand spanking new Berkley PowerBait Nessie. And the Nessie is a soft glide bait. You've heard a lot of chatter lately about big baits, glide bait fishing. And most of the time when guys are talking about that, they're talking about hard lures, plastic baits, resin baits. Well, this Nessie is soft. It's Berkley PowerBait. And this thing is special. I'm just going to show you a couple the features and benefits, and then I'm going to show you 6 different ways that you can fish this bait. First thing is, it's soft. And the advantages over a soft glide bait versus a hard bait, there are so many. I'll just give you a couple. One, action. Look at the flexibility of that plastic, right? It's got fluidity to it. It's not hard. It's flexible, right? It's not rigid. It's soft. So it has a lot more movement. The other advantage of a soft glide bait is its collapsibility. And that last big one I caught, if you looked at the way it ate it, you know, a lot of these fish will come up and close their mouth on it. If the bait's hard, it's rigid. It's fixed. It's not going to collapse. But a soft glide bait is collapsible in the fish's mouth, just like a real bait fish, right? The next thing is that joint. You know, one of the great things about the Nessie is it achieves a fluid movement. A lot of people call it an S movement at ease, very easily. And the reason is that joint. If you look at it, this is a specially designed single joint that's really broad in the back. And when the water catches that joint, that's what activates that bait. And we can get this bait to do a lot of things, from big, slow S's to tighter, fast S's. We're even going to be able to get this bait to do a 180 or 360. That's really hard to do with a hard glide baits. With this soft glide bait, super easy. Now, the great thing about that joint, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to get it pulled apart a little bit. But we have a specialized mesh between that joint. So that joint is not going to rip. It's going to hold up, okay? So the joint is super, super important. Next thing I want to show you is, we call it a paintbrush tail. And it's actually the same material they use for paintbrushes. And that paintbrush tail gives it a very realistic look, but also it feels like a fin. It has just a little bit of a crunch and texture to it. So although the bait is soft, when those fish feel the texture of that paintbrush tail, it feels natural. You know, if a lot of the hardcore glide bait fishermen, this is a qualifier. It has to have a paintbrush tail, so the PowerBait Nessie has that. Next thing I want to show you is, this is really a hybrid bait. And if you look at the fins, the bait is soft, but we have 2 sets of fins that are hard. And these fins are what give this bait its stability, its horizontal position, and that natural movement. Man, this thing is so special. It has a built-in hook system, a hook harness. And it's basically, if you look at it, we've got a swivel, a barrel style swivel with 2 split rings. And we've got a big treble hook on there, really super sharp. But the magic in this bait is this clip. And this is really a custom designed clip that the folks at Berkley created to help keep that treble locked in place. So if you take a look at the belly, there's a slit in the belly where that hook is going to go in. But, you know, if it just sat in there, you couldn't skip it. It would come out on a long cast, it would fly out. So Berkley developed a specialized clip on this Nessie, so when you put it in the slot, You could actually hear it lock in. So now the hook is locked in place. This is going to let you skip this bait, long cast this bait, fish it around cover, hit a dock, hit a log, and that hook's going to stay in place. The great thing about the clip though, a big fish eats it, and you remember from that last fish I caught, that force of that fish fighting pulls the hook away, and the fish loses the leverage of that big swim bait. I want to show you the giant eyes, and this was a must for the Nessie. And no matter what size you see, we've got oversized eyes on it. And eyes on a swim bait like this Nessie are a kill point. Fish see it, they know it's the head, they want to headshot it, and they want to kill it. Okay, you ready for this one? Next, I'm going to talk about the look of it, the paint. And we've got 10 colors in this brand new Nessie, and 8 of the 10 are these hand-painted custom colors. You know, we really wanted to make this a custom glide bait, a custom soft glide bait, so hand painting was a must. It's not a pad print, it's not a press process, it's a hand-painted bait. So some great colors to do forage match. We also have 2 standard colors called Raw and Green Pumpkin, which are 2 of the best standard colors ever created. I want to talk about the fact that this bait is power bait, and it has scent, and scent is so important. To have scent built into a glide bait is really, really critical. Attracts the fish, lets the fish hold on to it longer. This is a slow sink bait, but if you want to change the rate of fall, it's easy. And if you look at the bait, we have a couple dots, bullseyes I call them, one on the head, one on the tail, and we could actually use nail weights to weight this bait to get it deeper. So if you're fishing, let's call it 10, 15, 20 foot, and you want to get it deep, we can do that too with a weighted system. 3 sizes, a 9-inch, a 7-inch, and a 5-inch. Real easy to fish. This is not the kind of bait you can get intimidated by. It does a lot of the work itself. The other great thing, you don't need specialized tackle. This thing's light. Unlike a lot of hard baits, it's not 4, 5, 6 ounces. This thing's light. You could throw it on the rod you're already using. Last thing I'm going to leave you with is price. A lot of the glide baits on the market right now, these custom hard baits, resin baits, plastic baits, $150, $200, $300 a bait. The Berkley PowerBait Nessie, $15 for the 9-inch, $12 for the 7-inch, and under $10 for the 5-inch. So very affordable price point. It's going to let you learn glide bait fishing really easy, and you're going to catch a lot of fish. All right, enough of the talking. Let's start fishing, and I want to show you the 6 retrieves you could use with the PowerBait Nessie. Oh, hit it again. He's hitting it every cast. Literally every cast he bites it. I might catch him with the 5-inch. Got him! On the 5-inch! Oh, giant! Giant! Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Stay on there. Yeah! 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 That is a good look at the other size of the Berkley PowerBait Nessie, brand new bait. Look at that. It is a great view when sometimes you want that smaller profile, right? I think a lot of times when we talk about glide baits or swim baits, we assume that they're giant. And of course we have a 9 in the Nessie, we have a 7 in the Nessie, but we also have that 5. And for finicky fish, that one was a fish that was around a spawning bed. Looking at the bigger baits, not taking them, downsizing. And here's the great thing. I fished this 5-inch Nessie on a spinning rod. And it's so easy to work because of that joint, because of the mesh, because of those rudders. It has that fluid action just like the big ones. And when fish are picky, finicky, fry garters, shallow fish, bedding fish, they can't take it. Yeah! Look at that, man. What a great look, dude, at the freaking bait right in his mouth. Like, that's how they get it, dude. That's how they get it.
Right in the mouth.
Right in the mouth. Let's let this one go. That's the Berkley PowerBait Nessie. Bad to the bone. Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm excited about this brand new Berkley PowerBait Nessie. It's one of the first soft glide baits. And one of the reasons I'm excited about it is not just the fluid natural action, but the ways you can fish it. And the great news is it's really easy to fish it different ways. I'm going to go over my top 6 methods for retrieving the Berkley PowerBait Nessie. Retrieve number 1 is the simplest method. And basically, I throw it out and wind it back. The great thing about the Nessie, because of the rudders, it makes action, imparts action all on its own. So the first retrieve is slow and steady cranking. We're just going to chuck the bait out there. We're going to let it hit. And once it hits, I'm just reeling slow and steady. And that bait has fluidity all on its own. The only thing I'm going to do is every once in a while, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to throw slack into the line. And that'll make the bait 180 a little bit. So first method, steady wind, steady crank, throw it out. Just reel medium retrieve. Let the bait do the action. Every once in a while, throw a pause, throw slack into the line, and start retrieving it again. Slow and steady, retrieve number 1. Retrieve method number 2 for the Berkley PowerBait Nessie is the burn retrieve, burning it back. The great thing about this particular soft glide bait is that when you reel it fast, it doesn't blow out. A lot of those bigger, hard resin or plastic swim baits, if you reel them too fast, they'll roll. They'll want to turn on themselves, foul on the line. The Nessie doesn't do that. So the burning retrieve, it's real simple. We're going to make a long cast out there. It's going to hit. And instead of a slow and steady crank, now we're going to get it and we're going to wind it really, really fast. We're going to keep my rod down. It keeps it below the water. And it has a very fast movement, side to side, right? So once again, not really doing anything with it other than keeping my rod down, reeling fast, and pausing once in a while. And that pause will make it kick back. And a lot of your bites are going to come like that. So the burning retrieve, cast, rod down, reel fast, and this Nessie will not blow out. Perfect technique for clear water. All right, the number 4 retrieve I'm going to use with the Berkley PowerBait Nessie is the slow roll. And this one is great for when fish are deeper or they're more dormant or lethargic. Remember, the Nessie, you can weight it. You can use nail weights to actually get this thing down. And a lot of times when I'm slow rolling, I'll use some nails. So the slow rolling basically goes like this. We're going to make a long cast. This time we're going to let the bait get down. We're actually going to let the bait sink a little bit. Once it gets down, I usually count to about 5. I begin an ultra slow retrieve, barely turning the reel handle, just really slow rolling that handle. About every 10 or 15 cranks, I'll give it a little jerk and I'll pause it. Once again, that's going to make that bait turn. It's going to 180 that bait. So slow rolling, just barely reeling it. One of the great things about the Nessie is even at that super slow speed, that bait just does that wandering, lazy S, looking just like a lost bait fish, and that's perfect for deeper water. All right, the 5th way I'm going to retrieve the Berkley PowerBait Nessie, that's a soft glide bait, is I'm going to jerk it or rip it. And this retrieve is a lot like fishing a jerk bait. I'm going to throw it out. I'm going to give it twitches and cadence and put pauses in the middle. And just like a jerk bait, this bait's going to S but be very erratic. So retrieve number 5 is jerking. And the jerking technique, long cast, when that bait hits the water, this time instead of just using the reel, Now I'm going to act just like a jerkbait. Twitch, 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 pause. Twitch, 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 pause. Twitch, 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 pause. Twitch, 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 pause. And when we jerk this lure, it gives it a way more erratic left to right movement. Not that steady, slow S, but a quick left to right, just like a jerkbait. All right, last but definitely not least, this is probably one of my favorite ways to retrieve the brand new Berkley PowerBait Nessie, is called the dead walk. The dead walk. And if you have fished a topwater walking bait, you hear this term called walking the dog. In the dead walk, we're basically going to make that Nessie walk the dog underneath the water. It's a great technique for stained, clean, even dirty water, because the fish are really attracted to that movement. So in the dead walk, we want that bait to go side to side, and we're going to use our rod and our reel in the retrieve. So here it goes. On the dead walk, I'm going to make my long cast. I'm going to let it hit. And this time, instead of just using the reel or big jerks, I'm not doing either of those, I'm going to jerk, reel, jerk, reel, jerk, reel, jerk, reel, jerk, reel. So I'm using the rod and the reel at the same time, right? So I twitch and then reel on my slack. Twitch, reel on my slack. Twitch, reel on my slack. Twitch, reel on my slack. And it actually makes this bait walk under the water, just like, almost just like a walking topwater bait. Really amazing, unbelievably effective way to fish this bait. And the great thing about the dead walk, it keeps it in the strike zone for a super long time. Look, oh no, dude, giant, dude. He ate it right next to the boat, dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, a giant, dude. Oh my God, I can't even turn him. Stay on there. Yeah! Yeah! It's great for smallmouth too! Yeah! Look at that thing, dude! Come on, man. Come on, dude. Yeah! Wow. All right, guys, my heart is still pounding. One of the great things about this soft glide bait, this is the Berkley PowerBait Nessie, is its ability to turn the bait 180 or 300 degrees. Wait, hold on. Is it 360? I'm so excited. I can't even. All right, guys, this is the Berkley PowerBait Nessie. It's one of the only soft glide baits of its kind. And this fish I just caught, this big giant smallmouth, it really shows you one of the key movements for this bait. And we talked about the drawing power of glide baits, but I watched this smallmouth tracking it. And you can get this bait with a jerk and a pause. You can get this bait to 180 or even 360 degrees all the way around. And this fish was following it. I gave it a quick crank and threw slack in the line. The bait did a 180, looked at the fish, and he ate it. So key. And here's the great thing, guys. Listen, if you're watching this, you do not need to be a swim bait expert. The Nessie's so easy to fish. It's so easy to use and make that S movement and make that 180. Anybody can do it, trust me. So this bait, I'm so excited. And guess what? It catches big fish.
Wow. Nice work, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, smallmouth. I actually think my life just changed, dude. I feel like something inside of me just changed.